Okay, so for today's deep dive, we're heading to Saskatoon, Canada, March of 2015. We're looking at the death of a 19-year-old named Brittney Gargol.
And on the surface, this case looked like a pretty open and shut tragedy.
Right, a young woman, a night of drinking, the cold Canadian spring. You think you know how that story ends.
Exactly. But that initial read is what makes this case so compelling. Our mission here is to really unpack how a lack of visible injuries hid a brutal murder for a while.
And how a single digital artifact, a selfie, ended up telling the whole story.
It's a story of betrayal, really.
So let's talk about Brittney. By all accounts, she was incredibly kind, very loyal.
Especially to her best friend, Cheyenne Rose Antoine.
They were inseparable, from what I've read, that ride-or-die kind of friendship.
They were, and it's important to note, Brittney was open about her struggles with substance abuse, and she really leaned on Cheyenne.
So that explains why they were together on the night of March 20th.
It does. They were out drinking, going to a few different parties. Witnesses said they were arguing a bit.
But nothing serious.
Nothing that seemed out of the ordinary, for two friends on a long night out. Nothing that would suggest what was coming.
And then, the next morning, a man walking his dog finds Brittney's body.
Yeah, on the side of a road near a landfill.
And there's no obvious signs of what happened.
Mm.
No gunshot wounds, no visible trauma.
So the initial police theory was exactly what you expect.
She wandered off, passed out from the alcohol, and succumbed to the cold.
Precisely. Hypothermia or alcohol poisoning, case closed, a terrible accident.
But then the autopsy comes back.
And it completely dismantles that theory. It turns the entire investigation on its head. Brittney Gargol had been strangled.
Strangled? So how did they miss that?
Well, the weapon was a belt. It was found lying near the body.
Okay.
And with ligature strangulation, especially with something softer like a woven belt, it doesn't always leave the kind of external marks you'd expect.
So the breakthrough didn't come from the body itself. It came from social media.
It came from Facebook initially. Police are just scrolling through Cheyenne's profile.
And what do they find?
A photo of her wearing a very distinctive belt. The exact belt found at the crime scene.
Wow.
But that wasn't even the smoking gun. The real bombshell was a post Cheyenne made to Snapchat.
Snapchat, which is supposed to disappear, right?
Well, that's the myth. But nothing ever truly disappears online. The police recovered a selfie she'd posted that night.
And what did it show?
It's chilling. It shows Cheyenne and Brittney together. Cheyenne is wearing the belt.
Oh, my God.
But it's the caption. The caption she added is what's truly disturbing.
What did it say?
It said, "I thought she was dead. Lol."
Lol.
Yeah. It's a psychological puzzle. I mean, it places her at the scene. It shows she's aware of Brittney's condition, and she's mocking it.
It's basically a time-stamped confession.
In a way, yes. It completely contradicts her later claims that she panicked or didn't know what was happening.
So with that evidence, the belt, the photo, that caption, you'd think it's an open and shut murder case.
You would think. But Cheyenne wasn't convicted of murder. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter in 2018.
And she got a 7-year sentence.
7 years. And for a lot of people, that just felt like a slap on the wrist. Your best friend strangles you, posts about it, and gets 7 years.
So how does that happen? How do you get from that evidence to manslaughter?
It all comes down to the intoxication defense.
Okay, explain that.
In the Canadian legal system, to prove murder, the prosecution has to prove specific intent, that you meant to cause the death.
And the defense argued she was too drunk to have that intent.
Exactly. They argued she was so intoxicated that she blacked out and was incapable of forming that specific thought, that specific intent to kill.
So even though her actions killed Brittney, legally she didn't mean to because she was too drunk to know what she was doing.
That's the argument that won. It highlights this huge gap between, what we see as moral guilt, the pure callousness of that post, and the very technical requirements of the law.
It really changes how you think about evidence, doesn't it? We're not just looking for fingerprints anymore.
No, we're looking for digital breadcrumbs, the little pieces of their lives people can't resist posting.
It's like her need to post on social media was her own undoing.
It really was. Which brings us to a pretty provocative final thought, I think.
Go on.
Think about it. If Cheyenne hadn't had that almost compulsive urge to post that selfie, she might never have been concretely linked to that crime scene, to that belt.
She might have gotten away with it.
It's very possible. It makes you wonder, in this digital age, maybe a killer's greatest weakness isn't guilt. Maybe it's vanity. Maybe it's just the need to be seen.